What is even up? It's your boy Crabman, here with my boy Heckenstein. Welcome to the Hypnotic Hootout. How are we all doing?
Yes,
Yes, indeed.
I'm doing. First time I made this joke, by the way. First time you laughed. So, it's dedication something.
Dedication.
Yeah. I got called again. I got called again by people
Oh no.
who wanted to convince me to start online brokering stuff.
Uh-huh.
You remember? Must be like last time or the time before I told you. So first time I was just confused. Like second time that happened, like back in the day, then I got quite angry and kind of tried to convince the person who called me that brokerage and all this Wall Street stuff is indeed bad, and I don't like it, and I don't want it to do it, and I feel like they shouldn't either. And yeah, I told them that we are bringing value into the world while they are. What are they doing? Not value. I got her so. It was a woman. I got her so angry that she hung up. I think it was. Or was it a guy? No, could have been a guy. Yeah, I think it was a guy. But so recently I got called again. I thought like I had a while where I didn't get any calls, and I thought, okay, I made enough of a mess for them. Like they they don't want me anymore. But yeah, back in the day, I think it was Williams and Partners who did it. I thought, because when I got called again, it was for a different firm. It was for Goldman.
Sex?
No. Gold, but it's Goldstein and Gold. I don't know, something with gold. And yeah, so this time this time it was a woman. Oh, thank you. Oh, much better. I told them that they shouldn't have called, that I have no interest, but she was persistent. So I think someone like maybe Vendisel like someone in our Discord said I should like hold them on, like waste their time. So I decided to do that. Like I set the phone beside, and I was like always, one moment please, my PC is very slow. And I just like browsed on Reddit or did something else. And then when they were like, hey, hello, it was like every 10 seconds they were very impatient. It was a woman. And I told her, yeah, okay, well, what's the next step? And yeah, she told me, she instructed me to go to their website, which took like 10 minutes at least before I was there. And then I should click somewhere and then like create a new account. And I said like I didn't do anything of that. I just went to the website, to see what's written there, and clicked on it. And she was like, "And can you see? What do you see?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's loading." And she was, you should see like your like this and that, and you have to put your name in there and then select the password and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I'm doing that. And I did some tippity tappity on the keyboard and continued. She even knew like how it looks when you're in that. She said, okay, you're logged in now, and I was, yeah, I'm logged in now. Of course, I wasn't. so no, on the top right you have to click on this and that and tell me what you see. And I was like, oh wait, I'm gonna click there. I was a bit worried that she would find out that I'm messing with her, and I have no idea. But she was so focused on making me do these things that she didn't realize, that I didn't give her any feedback that I was actually at her level right now. Well, at some point, she said, we are now going to set you in contact with a personal broker who will help you with your investments.
Mm-hmm.
We've sent you an email to your Gmail address, whatever at gmail.com, and I was like, where did you get my email from? And she said, oh, I can see that. You just registered with this email, right? And I said, no, I did not. I did not register. So these people, they know my name, they know my Gmail address, and they know my phone number. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Because I would get it if they had like my phone number, my name, and my business email address. Because this is like out there in combination. I have no idea where my email address on Gmail and my telephone number. I think only Google knows that. And I have it. I don't think I have it like maybe for our company, but even then, I don't think that should come in contact at any point. But apparently it does. Yeah, so at that point I told her like, okay, listen, I know you're a scammer. So before I thought it was Williams and Partners who really tried to convince me to do brokership, and I did like alert the people about that this is like illegal, and I alerted them that it's this company doing this, but in fact it's not that company, it's scammers that call me. Yeah, so she was angry with me for wasting 25 minutes and not only that, but like tricking her. That was her what she was really upset about it. I tricked her. Oh, you're just making tricks with me here. She said, yeah, but you're lying to me as well. You're a scammer. No, we are the biggest in the business. We couldn't do that if we would scam that she repeated over and over again. If we would lie, we couldn't be the biggest in the business. And you are not working for that company. I know that. And I'm really unsure about if they know it or not. And I'm really interested in how this all works out. And so I have gotten another call. It was at the point where I didn't have the time. I rescheduled it. Unfortunately, I missed the time framing again when I rescheduled because I was somewhere else and I didn't hear the call. But I set everything up on Twitch. Mm-hmm. So next time I get a call, I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna do the same stuff I did last time, but this time I'm trying to pivot over to, hey man, I know you're a scam. Come on, let's talk about it. Maybe I want to get into business. Like where are you working? Like how does this work? Do you get like a fixed amount of money? Do you get revenue? Do you get, which is for me like the biggest question, do you get the numbers from like somewhere, like just list of numbers and you go through them, or do you buy the numbers? I know that some companies do it like that. You buy leads and then you have to make money out of these leads. So they are all freelancers basically, and they are promised they can make big money from home. They just have to call these people and convince them to do this and that. I wonder what the scheme actually is. And yeah, I'm gonna, if I get another call, and I don't, maybe I should like mute my phone. I'm gonna stream it, and I think I'm gonna send it to like Control F, which is Steuerung F, is like a German research journalist YouTube channel, which I quite like. Yeah.
Mhm.
And how about you?
It's been a week.
Right, your wife is coming in 3 months, isn't it?
Mhm.
Isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Well, maybe. I guess we're gonna see how these things develop. Now that we have another peak and stuff.
We don't have a peak yet, right?
Well,
I mean,
kind of.
hopefully we have, but
We're still kind of trying to get down from the peak again, but that's stalled.
I haven't really looked at the numbers recently.
Well, it did a bit of this, and then it like kind of went up a little bit and seems to like sort of plateau at our first peak. So we're still above those numbers.
But the first peak was when we had like less. But I heard. Oh wait. So we made less tests back then. So you can someone recalculated it to be much higher than we originally. But I heard that we are doing less tests now as well. Not then at the beginning, but at the middle point. But I'm not sure because now everybody can test, right? More or less. Like we have more testing. I have no idea. Sorry. Continue.
Yes. Well. Do I even want to talk about that? I don't know. I've been up all night trying to figure out how to get my wife unstuck. Because she was trapped in Switzerland. Basically held hostage for ransom.
She was, yeah. That's completely true. I said you should have contacted a consulate. But yeah,
been anything.
probably maybe not.
And I've been. That's also the thing. For the past year now, I've been contacting the South African consulate, and they're not working.
Well, it's a German one. There's the Swiss one.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna be the same because just since all the travel has been stopped, they have basically also stopped working, and so that's kind of a weird situation there. And yeah, I don't think they could have done anything about it. It was about corona tests, and the one that we were first told to get was suddenly not sufficient anymore in transit, so she was basically stuck there. And then she suddenly pays a $200 bill for a test, which she also, per regulations, both of the airline and the South African government, can get upon arrival. But they didn't want to. They barely wanted to talk to her about that, just rolling their eyes and groaning and reluctantly doing a call, just it's another South African, and then just kind of shove her off. And
I mean, it's Switzerland, but you do wonder about like how things would have gone if it was you, not her.
We would have been on board of that plane, absolutely.
Yeah,
I 100% believe that. There's not a doubt in my mind.
I think a little bit of naivety is still inside me that I can doubt it, but I would say it's highly likely you're right.
I mean, in the end, it was a black and an Arab man that actually helped her get a free hotel room for the night, get the flight rebooked and stuff.
That's not even from the airline or anything.
I think the one guy was from the airline, the other one worked for the hotel, and he was basically running around all night trying to organize that test somehow because the person who checked her in didn't do her job of like scheduling all the appointments and stuff. So I think I went to sleep at 7, so I'm a little bit knackered. But at least that's sorted now, and hopefully in a couple of hours she can then finally board the plane and fly home. But yeah, that whole thing has been a shit show just from the start. Like in the middle there. That's also the thing that annoys me so much, right? So on Monday we got an email from Swiss Air. To enter blah blah blah, you need this PCR test. And so we read the regulations, and as I said, there's a thing, every person entering needs a PCR test. If for some reason you don't have this test, you can you have to get it there at your own expense, which it is anyway. Like, it's not like we got any of the stuff for free at any point.
But I don't even know how you would get one here in Germany. Like, maybe at the beginning, before you enter the plane.
Well, you can get I think what are they called, Johanniter? They have like several stations somewhere. I think ours here is, back there, Mokau or something. It's relatively like where the Amazon stuff is, I think. One of the Amazon thingies. And you could schedule an appointment. But if you want a test that is done in less than 24 hours, you would have had to pay like 130 euros for it. And so I was like, okay, I don't know if I can, get a test now in one day. A little bit short notice. But since everything says, oh, you can also get it if you arrive there, we're like, fine, that's how it was when she came here. When she arrived in Frankfurt, she got a test, and that was that. We didn't even have to pay for it.
I mean, I did read like the Swiss thingy, the Swiss website. You need a PCR test or a quick one.
Yes, so that's the thing, because that's what happened. So Wednesday, we then went to Berlin, which is like 2.5 hours from here. And upon arrival, like the check-in lady was like so like unsettled by these contradictory regulations. One saying every nationality needs to have a test to be allowed to enter, but also there it says you can get one there, but that's contradictory. That doesn't make sense. Got another colleague who said, oh well, I guess then you have to get it there at your own expense. And I just keep thinking, yeah, fuck, are you telling me you want the money rather than them having the money because I have to pay for this here as well? I know it's at my own expense in any scenario.
You had to pay. You had to pay there for that as well. There,
every single test. Yes. So we're standing there thinking, the flight is in 2 hours. There's like,
how can they make you pay that for that? I don't understand that part.
You need to provide it, I suppose. And it's a weird thing because obviously, like, she didn't leave by choice or anything.
Yeah, she had to leave.
Exactly. She's being forced out. Well, not very literal. It's a visitor's visa, and the days were up. But yes, so the government was at some point. I was also saying to her, just how about you just say, no, I'm not doing this, and we'll just wait for you to get deported. Instead, we would probably get them for free.
Yeah, you get a free test there. I was wondering about that too, man.
But then you get a bad record and stuff, and then next time you're not gonna get the visa. But yeah, no. So I said to the lady, okay, the flight is in, like, literally I think the fastest test that I saw was in like 90 minutes. I was like, can we get a test still or something? It was like, okay, there's this rapid antigen test, cost 40 euros. Get one is 15 minutes. So we did. Got the test, went back to checking in, and then I was like, oh, actually, the flight is tomorrow. And I'm like, fuck you to me, tomorrow. Here is my printed out itinerary. It says 10th of March. That is Wednesday. That is not the 11th. But apparently, the flight was quietly changed because the plane going to Johannesburg from Zurich was some weird other type of machine that they decided to cancel, whatever, but now this is the real one, it's tomorrow. And I was like, at that point I was already like pissed off with, being like basically wasting the whole day going to Berlin for nothing.
Yeah, the money, of course.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the tickets themselves are like $100 and then you pay 40 for the test. That suddenly is like, if they had noticed this like half a minute earlier or something, then we just could have gotten the 24-hour test, since we suddenly have 24 hours. But so we're thinking, okay, she has the test so she can get on board, and she might have to get the proper one when she lands. But I figure, I'm not going to pay another $100 now on top of the 40 I just wasted. If I have to pay this anyway, then I'm going to take the cheaper rate that's probably going to be down there.
Yeah, of course.
And so Thursday, we do the same thing again, which was actually kind of nice, much more mellow.
About time style.
Yes. The test still good. She gets checked in, boards her first Swiss Air flight to Zurich. Everything is fine. And then there she suddenly checked and suddenly like this is not good enough, and just groans and eye rolls, and until a person of color had to help. So that's fun. And then the whole night was just kind of a mess trying to figure out how to get the test. Because
didn't David Guetta solve racism? Was that still a thing?
Maybe he needs to play in Switzerland. Solve it one country at a time.
That's the problem. I don't have reach, poor man.
Oh well. But yeah, she has the test now. And there's another situation, like getting the money to her. She doesn't have a credit card. And that was a hectic night. But yeah, everything's sorted now. She got the test. It's negative.
Of course it is.
Very shocking.
But I don't know. I still maintain that I would have, in her shoes, I would have just stayed in Switzerland. I would have said, oh, fine. If you don't want to fly me back, well, I'm going to stay here then. And what are you going to do?
Well,
they don't like immigrants in Switzerland. I know that much.
Well, they can probably come up with a lot of stuff. And yeah, she has to come home somehow. It's better than having to pay for a whole new flight.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's good. That's as much as the test was, the flight is still double that. So, yeah. Annoying.
Fun. At least you've got a nice story.
Yeah, I was also thinking what to do with that, but I feel like it's too mundane. It's like the too casual day-to-day stuff, not the explosive, sexy kind of racism, where you can actually maybe make some noise about it. But
I guess you could still, because the corona is still completely in,
Sure. Yeah.
That everybody hates these rules and regulations, and Switzerland in particular. So I don't know.
What? Red King's Last just started streaming Thief 2.
That's rude.
The audacity.
I feel like we need to rate them to show them later on, of course. Later on. Don't go there now. It's not fun right now. They probably still have technical difficulties.
So, what an odd time to start too. 5:30.
I think if they start that early, we can start later. We can get the early spot there.
It's not even that day. Wednesday is that day.
I think they have Fridays always often too. So.
There they are.
Well, I can't be too mad at you guys, so
yeah,
it's forgiven. So, should I read the sponsor?
Yes.
So today's sponsor. I mean, we've always done sponsorships, right?
Always.
So it's Skillshares. Have you ever been wondering what you want to be? A baker, tailor, salesperson? Are you anxious to choose wrong? Unmotivated to join the rat race? Well, fear not. Inspired by Wall Street, Skillshares lets you invest in the type of trades you are interested in. No need to stick to one. Just invest in the kind of job you want to be in, and that's it. No interest anymore? Just sell your shares and invest in something else. No need to learn anything. No need to work. Just do what all these power brokers do and become rich and famous.
That's a trick.
Go to skillshares.com and get started. And as a special treat, if you invest in Game Developer, we will match every dollar you invest with $1 of our own. Join now.
It's quite a commitment.
Yeah. But maybe they can help us out with it. If Game Developer becomes more popular, less popular, I don't know. Somehow it has to get back to us, right? I don't understand. I don't understand broker stuff and Wall Street. Anyway,
indeed. And do you invest in games now?
Yes, in games and beer. At least they don't let me down as often.
Indeed. Have you played anything?
Nothing new. Continued with Valheim. We finished as a group the Eldor. We were attacked by a dragon.
Huh. I haven't met a dragon yet.
They just come flying by and roasting our house. Because our house is it's built with the opposite of user experience in mind, so it's really hard to get anywhere. And we had to get on the roof and then to fight him there before it destroys the portal, which is of course also on the roof, so you have the longest way if you get in there. That was fun. Then we continued there a little bit. Got some resources, walked a little bit around. Still fun. But not that much time for playing.
I see.
Have you continued Valheim? No, still not. Still angry with it.
It's over.
I feel like you should forgive it. You should accept the fact that it's getting so hard and then just do the work.
Yeah. I feel like I've done everything that I want to do. I've finished the game.
Well, that's fine too.
Goal achieved. I have a nice house. That's all. All I wanted.
Yes. Isn't that all we all want?
Maybe I'll give it a shot to run around. Haven't had dragons yet. No, I have.
I think it's also from the mountain biome because we are right on the edge of the mountain.
I see. I have had a couple of water serpents that come up and attack you while you're trying to get places. They drop very, very huge chunks of meat when you hang them over your fires. It's basically as big as the thing itself.
Nice.
Giant slabs, and then you can make a stew out of them.
Have you managed to make sausage yet?
I have.
Still not. I only know that they are there, but I haven't made any sausages yet. I feel I'm missing out.
Well, you have to go to the swamp and kill some draugrs.
Okay, we're not in the swamp yet. Draugrs.
You need their entrails.
Oh, great! That sounds tasty and healthy.
Yes, so you have entrails, raw meat, and I think thistle.
Well, there is.
And then you can make some sausages. They give 60 health, I believe.
Oh, nice. Have you seen the recent Twitter drama?
Which one? It's a new one every day.
Well, today it's Jason Sorora's turn. No? So Jason Sorora, I don't know much about him, to be honest. I played the Passage. You remember that game? It was one of these indie games we played back in the day.
Back in the day,
you know?
Back in the day.
We were still that small, and
a Passage.
Indie games was everything. I don't know.
Video game.
Yes.
Let me see, Little Rings. Oh, of course, yes, that one. Okay.
That's the one where you walk from left to right and you get older and stuff.
Right.
I always loved like his artistic stuff and like trying to do different things with the medium. Well, he tried to do something different again, and there is some drama around it. So he made a game called God. Can you not read this one? But yeah, this one.
The Dutch auction, the Castle Doctrine.
Yeah, the Castle Doctrine. So he made a game, the Castle Doctrine, and there are like 455 pixel paintings in there. And he had the idea to sell basically crypto tokens that would give you the ownership of a picture. Basically, they are like non-fungible tokens, NFT. Non-fungible, not fungible, I think is the right word, and I like it very much. Fungible, such a great word. But it basically means, it's more or less. It's kind of. I think he explained it. That it's more or less like you get a link to the picture, and only you have that link. And then you're the first one, the only one who's really got this link to this picture. And well, Twitter got kind of very upset with him for a couple of reasons. First off, he didn't ask the artists of these pictures for permission.
So it's not his own pixel art?
No, he asked friends and family to make these.
Okay.
And I think one of the artists, Andy something, was kind of upset by that because I don't know. So he wants money for it. Obviously, he auctions them away, and I think someone wrote like he wants like $6,000 for the whole collection, dollars or something, or maybe for even just one. I didn't quite understand. I didn't put too much work into researching this too. But the thing is, the game, the Castle Doctrine, and the images are in Creative Commons, so they're open source. He open sources like most of his games and only sells the rights to not the rights or he sells the game on platforms, but only you can also like get them for free out of like if they are not on Steam is how I understood it. They are open source. So they're open source. They're made by his friends. He doesn't like copyright and all that stuff and doesn't take it as seriously. And he somehow had the idea, he said like over the weekend, he just did it to make this collection, to make them as crypto tokens basically, and to make an auction, to auction them away. So it kind of fit the game and would be a nice thing. And obviously he wanted to make, I guess, some money with this. Sure. He also said, but people gone crazy, really. I've read so much. If you go on his Twitter page and then just the replies, what people wrote him, like that he's a pig, and he should die, and that people had respect for him, but now it's gone. And the second criticism, so first one is like he didn't ask the artists.
That's theft, basically.
Yeah, but the game is about art theft as well. So it kind of... And the second thing is that these cryptocurrencies, they take a lot of energy to mint the pictures. So they are like original. And he said like they use, I think like for the minting of one thing, I've read somewhere that it takes about 49 kilograms of CO2 in the atmosphere. So it's bad for the atmosphere. And the thing, of course, is he is a proponent of simple living. and vegetarian, I think, and is really cautious of nature and pro ecosystem, and like really critical of stuff. And then people of course saw that as hypocrisy, although he used a method where this cost of minting will only be happening if some of them get bought. Only then the person who buys them will have to pay themselves for the minting process, and then only like the whole resources will be squandered. And I found that very interesting, not only because of this question of like, should he have asked all the artists? He said like some of these are like, he said like most of the people who made these pixel pictures are much more wealthy than he is, and some of them were by his kids, by his wife, other people who aren't in industry, and but everybody is like angry about that he just didn't ask all the artists. And the second one is, what does it mean like to squander resources like of our planet? Like, could you argue that just like arguing about it on Twitter is like wasting resources?
No.
Why not?
Well, I mean, you've seen the insane rigs that people are building and powering them with dirty energy and stuff. So it seems to be a problem. I see a lot of discussion about NFT. I don't get it.
You seen discussions about that?
A lot. It's a big thing at the moment, it seems.
He didn't know. It's the first time he heard about like all that, which I find a bit weird because of his choice. But I haven't heard of this before.
It's a thing that has been like happening over the last week or two. That mean a lot of weird stuff. Like then there's now tweets that get tokenized and stuff like that. So basically weird theft.
Well, he started on the 11th, so maybe he kicked it off, or maybe he jumped on.
Probably jumped on. I feel like that whole blockchain based shenanigans. I feel like that got like a real boost after the GameStop thing. Because that seemed to come like right off the coattails of that people are now selling crypto art, and how incredibly destructive that is, because apparently even like the transaction process takes like a lot of processing, and it's a weird thing. I don't fully get it. I've just seen a couple of things where people show off their rigs where they like containers in the middle of nowhere and just full of stacks and stacks and stacks of PCs, just farms basically, computing farms just to mine Bitcoin or some shit like that.
That's something different, right? The Bitcoin mining I see as well.
Isn't it the same thing? Isn't it all?
It's also blockchain, yeah. I don't really understand all that, but I feel like it's a bit hypocritical to. I mean, obviously that's some kind of art project he does there. To rag on him like he's the Antichrist for doing that. I don't understand his choice to do it either, though. Like, I wouldn't sell tokens to people for our games, like that they have like, I don't know. He compared it with like baseball cards. Like, you want to have an original baseball card, you can also buy like a replica for cheaper, but people want to have an original one, and that way this crypto thing provides that you have the original one, and the value of that isn't like in the piece, in the work, it's in having the certificate that it's original. But I mean, of course, it's kind of like money. There's no inherent value in a piece of paper, but we make it so, and I don't know.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing that people are most upset about. That as I don't understand how I don't know what that means. The transaction takes a month's worth of energy. I don't know what that means. I don't know how transaction work or anything, but I just hear that it consumes as much energy as a normal household in a month to just even transfer whatever it is that they need to transfer. And that people are annoyed about it because you could just as easily just pay the artist without like needlessly wasting all that energy and contributing to the problem. It's like people want to be, I read someone say that in a very eloquent way and totally forgot it. There's something about trying to do what corporations do, get in on the destruction of the world, but as an individual, and for nothing. That's the thing, because you could also get a paper certificate.
Yeah, right. You could also have like send out, like just printed them and sent them out. I guess a very low tech solution to the same problem. Could have like signed them. I mean, nobody could like prevent it from doing like multiples then, and I think the blockchain prevents that.
Really, you couldn't sell the exact same image again?
You could, but you would have like a signature that tells you that this one was after this. So this is the original, the first one. And somehow it's
cool.
Yeah.
I have the first paint drawing.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's weird.
It is.
No, that's a part that I don't get. I mean, sometimes when I hear about these things, for a moment I'm like, should I look into this? Is there the boom coming now? Like, if I had bought some Bitcoin 10 years ago or some stuff. And then I'm like, nah.
How do you remember that?
I don't get it.
Do you remember it? I remember Dancy telling us about Bitcoin and saying he's going to invest it. And I said, no, the government will shut it down. They will not allow it. I'm sure of it. I was too deep in conspiracies back then. And I think he invested like a couple of euros. I don't know how much money he got out of it. Or if he sold it like too soon, maybe. But I sure wish I would have joined there. I even looked into like Bitcoin trading once. Like friend told me about it, and he was like, "Very, it's so cool," and blah blah blah. And just setting up a wallet and then finding out which kind of Bitcoin, that was just gibberish to me, and I was like, I have no interest in that. There's no value produced that way. It's just some kind of gambling mechanism. I can see that people like this as a form of gambling, as a game basically, where they also can make some money or lose some money, whatever. But yeah, it seems so meaningless for me.
Well, it is. I guess it's like the purest version of, I guess, how value works. Just a bunch of people agreeing that it has value gives it value. It doesn't have anything underneath it there. Weird. Very weird. Okay. Oh well. What else is going on in the world? See 4 more bullet points.
We got the others already.
Oh no.
So it's the Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit.
I finished the Queen's Gambit.
And?
It did increase my willingness to play chess again. So, not very much. But it's really a nice limited series. I feel like could have been a great movie. Is a good TV series or limited series.
Yeah.
I had like no interest in watching it for a while, because I assumed that this is a story about a woman who has to overcome all these male shit and like bad things happen to her, and it's very, really tough to watch kind of thing, you know? I don't know how you looked at that, but
didn't really. I just saw suddenly people talking about how great it is. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I care.
No, it's really nice. It's not as much drama as I expected. It's way more chill, way more positive. It's just a story about a strong woman who's really good at playing chess, who knows what she wants, who has been brought up by a strong woman who did not like fold under the pressures of that time to be womanly. And it's really inspirational, maybe even, and nice. She has a couple of tough things she has to overcome, but it's never to the point where it becomes really depressing in what kind of world people had to live back then and we live right now. It's really nice, and I think I would have enjoyed it way more if I would have known that, and if I wouldn't have like watched it waiting for every man to kind of start groping her or something vile, because like the most people they're really nice. Like basically all of them have something nice in them, and it's up until the end, and then it ends really nice. Had couple of times where there were tears in my eyes, even because it was just so nice, really, really nice. And yeah, chess is a cool game. I think I want to play some chess again, but I don't know against whom. And yeah, I'm not interested in professional chess. This seems such a drag. You know, I don't like these. I don't like Dota 2 or like all these games where you have to be like conscious of the meta, like of the different builds of the different characters and how to play against them.
Yeah.
And that's all in chess as well, because you have these different openings and different reactions to that. And at a high level, a lot of people, it's just you need to have them all not memorized, but you kind of have to know how to react. You have to have this love of just reading chess games, like reading about how to play different strategies and how to react to them, what's strong, what's weak. And that's so complicated, so much work. It's always like demotivated me from even trying. You know, my uncle is a chess player. He plays in tournaments and stuff. And I find it really cool. I like playing against him, although except once when I beat him after he had been playing the whole day in a tournament and was really tired. I always lose pretty devastatingly, and he's always like, don't do that, like maybe you should yeah do this, yeah that's good, oh that's interesting, okay let's see how I can react to that. Yeah, I wish it was more free and creative. And the girl or the woman in Queen's Gambit, she's an intuitive player, so she's just like imagining things, and yeah, that's the kind of way I want to play, like intuitively. I don't want to memorize different openings and stuff.
Yeah. We watched Enola Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice.
Didn't even talk about it.
No.
Can I give you my opinion?
Of course,
then
please.
I want to hear yours. I want to hear yours in as long as possible. So,
okay.
I think it's a really lovely movie. but it feels like it was made for 12-year-old girls, and it's really on the nose at times. It's trying really hard, too hard at times, and at times it doesn't pull off what it's trying to do. And then it goes really hard, and you're thinking like, what the hell is going on? And then it's again lovely. And yeah, I love what it's trying to do, and for the most part, I think it manages to do it. But at some point, like I started like rolling my eyes for the
Like what?
I think, when did I roll my eyes? Like for example, okay, so the first example isn't the best, so that's a weak one. But when she gets the message from her mom, and she's like, she doesn't immediately see that she just have to read it from back to front, and she lays it out with the Scrabble pieces, and then she's like, oh, I have to turn them around. Then she goes and does this, like, okay, I think like they try to explain the kids what's going on, because I saw it right away. And if she's Sherlock Holmes' sister, she should have too. And then I was something else. Sometimes she looks at the camera and says something really like just cheesy, like to the point where I was rolling my eyes. Yeah. But how did you
No, I didn't have that.
experience the movie?
Well, I don't know. It was a solid movie, I would say. It's, in some way I feel like it's not necessarily something to write home about, but also not completely not. So yeah, I would say solid to solid plus. I was a bit surprised, like how. I mean, of course, it's a movie for young people. That's clear, but all the more interesting how hard it goes on political stuff, feminism and such, and kind of a portrayal of it, or the necessity, or the portrayal of the necessity of it, that I don't think I've seen much. I mean, I don't watch many period dramas, but the couple that I have seen, they tend not to really focus on that stuff. It's more like etiquette. It's something quirky and kind of fun type of a thing, rather than how actually restrictive and dehumanizing.
I went so hard in that with this.
But I really felt like it was doing that in a really good way. You know,
justified, yeah.
Where I feel like that was, I don't know, I mean, obviously it's not directly historical, but it feels more real than I would have expected it to. Like, very, very clearly does talk about real things, and that was interesting. Also, but just how it kind of didn't shy away from the more horrifying aspects, as well as the radicalness of opposing it, which I also find interesting. It's kind of a pro-radical movie, and that's weirdly.
I don't know if it's it totally is. Yeah, it doesn't really feel that radical, as it is more radical than it feels. You know, it has this, like, there is there are terror acts planned in the movie.
Yes.
That are not...
And portrayed in a positive light.
I don't think they are.
I feel like they were.
I think they were, like, not... They were just not vilified. They were just, like, set there as, like, oh, that would be... Wow, that would be kind of bad, right? To do that, but It's very understandable too.
No,
And that's where it lasts. Like, just let it just sit there, like make your mind about it. Didn't say like blowing people up is good or necessary. Just
well, I don't know. I feel like the movie very much sets up the motivations for those planned terror acts. It gives you then, I mean, you see kind of the justification first, and then you kind of learn about the why behind it, and it makes it so, yeah, I feel like it made it like really clear and necessary in a way. In a not, I mean, obviously the story isn't that Enola joins the terrorists or something, but it very much seems to like operate on this level. Okay,
So,
this is a valid branch, and this is her branch that is also valid. But it was an interesting, yeah, let's fuck some shit up type vibe that came from that, and I appreciate that. And overall, I thought it was very, very well made. I did enjoy it. The various little twists and turns, even the fourth wall break. Sometimes I was wondering, is this too much? But overall, I feel like it never really. I never grew tired of the gimmick, even if it was just for short things that could have also not been done.
I thought it was a bit much. Like the fourth wall breaks, I felt, especially like the one where she gets really obvious about it and like asks the viewer, "Do you have a better idea?" That's definitely an eye roll moment where I felt like this movie is maybe trying to do too much, like too many different stuff like all put together, and I felt like this didn't have to be necessary. Like you already have this quirky character, it doesn't have to look in the camera and be extra quirky, but except like one or two times I felt it did add something to the movie. That's true.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes I wondered, but it never really went to a place where I feel like, okay, this was too much now. I feel like this was always sort of, I think it's an expository device, and I feel like they did it well enough that it didn't feel annoying of just characters like this telling you things instead of just providing some needed context and some more insight in the emotionality, which I guess is in the end the point, to understand how the characters think. And in that way it worked pretty well. And again, it's for children probably, so that's probably helpful for them too, if she directly tells them how she feels. And it was even a good mystery. Like I did not see it play out like that, and it was still interesting. Like often, mysteries can get a little bit, okay, now we've gone off the deep end or something, but it was, or like this is so blah. There was so much more promised. And this was like, it wasn't. That's what I mean. I think that it's not really. Like I wouldn't tell someone, oh my god, you have to see this because it's such an amazing mystery or whatever, but it's solid. It works, and it was a good time, and weirdly mature for a children's movie. But in a fun way. So that's also a very interesting line to kind of walk. To make very clearly a children's and child-friendly movie, but also be very, very very political and radical in the things it discusses with children. Cool stuff. I am interested to see more of this.
It would be great. It felt to me like it was as if Wes Anderson was hired to make the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, and he just had fired everyone to focus on children again.
Sure, I can.
But then there was like something something else in there, like definitely something original as well.
Yes. Is this an actual character that exists, or is this like a fan fiction type thing?
It's basically fan fiction.
I see.
But best kind of fan fiction, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I felt what I really liked is as well as how critical it is of Holmes that he ignored them, and like, of course, if it's like fan fiction and this character didn't exist before, like that his mother, I don't know, I haven't read the books, of course, but his mother is never like a character. It doesn't have to be, but kind of like the male focuses of Sherlock Holmes media being critiqued by this kind of, well, did you know he has got a sister? And never mentioned it. And she's kind of, she's really young, and he never had any interest in her, and isn't that kind of fucked up? And doesn't he have like some sort of responsibility too? And it was really nice to see him like in the end like take up the responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something that I was briefly thinking that I would like to see more of Sherlock Holmes, but I don't think it needed to be in that movie, but I would love to see another one, basically. I hope they make it a series.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't know if it's in the works. No.
I mean, it sounded like it was well received, so maybe.
I assume, what's the actor again? Sherlock Holmes?
Henry Cavill.
I think he has got a lot of on his plate right now.
But
I love him. He's such a, I don't know, he seems like such a great guy.
Well, that's...
Oh God.
That's one of those things. And nothing too hectic. It's just he's one of those, oh wow, so do I need a contract now before even asking a woman out on a date type person?
Okay.
So he complained about Me Too and cancel culture and stuff. So one of those guys. But it's...
Well, there's still hope.
I can at least tune that out enough that I can enjoy the character, but yeah, I probably would have liked it more if he just would shut up.
I mean, given that I was basically in the same boat for a while, I have some sympathies and some hope that eventually he'll learn better, as I did. And if I can do it, Henry Cavill probably can as well. I think you can bring me one too.
Of course, I shall.
Right, so I'm out of topics.
You're out of topics?
Kind of, yeah.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
Do we have anything we want to talk about? I mean, we don't have to force this, I don't think. If we're done, we're done. I'm tired anyway.
Are you? Well... So, one thing.
Okay.
Thank you. Just shortly, I guess you don't have too much to add to that. But I have noticed that the new trend is time loops.
Ah. Oh, time loops, right, there was something. Yes.
It's not only Loop Hero, no, what's it? Time Hero? No, it's Loop Hero.
Loop Hero, yeah.
Which I still don't understand. Like, okay, I looked more into Loop Hero.
Yeah.
Let's start with this. Trying to understand the appeal.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm kind of jealous. Very. A little bit. What makes this game so great? Because first of all, it is basically an idle clicker game. You don't do that much.
Uh-huh.
So, if you know how the game works, you have like a loop, a literal, no, is it literal? Yeah, it's literal. A little loop. And you've got your little sprite character that walks around it. And there are monsters on your way and you fight them.
Uh-huh.
And you have health and they have health and someone dies. And you can't actively fight. You can only decide what gear you wear. So you find new gear, you put it on, like change it, which is of course a great part of hack and slash games is just the gear selection, and like concentrating on that, I can see that work. And then you also collect cards, and these cards have places on them, and you can place these places on the map adjacent to this loop. Yeah. And they will change. They will give you like bonuses. They will also like spawn new monsters, which give you not new stuff, which you can use to do like new gear or build new stuff. And there are like combinations. Like if you place like 3 stones next to each other, they become a mountain, and then harpies appear. So you can like there's a learning process with the game, and it's basically a roguelike. So if you die, you start all over again, but you've learned a little bit more about how the game works. And then you can get new character classes that work a little bit different, or very much different, I don't know. And yeah, I think it has to be like this awesome pixel art. Was like the trailer probably works very well. I think having Devolver Digital as a publisher is a huge bonus. Probably. But looking at the sprites, I mean, they look really professional. They look like a quality game. I think that's a great thing. And then it's really streamer friendly, because as a streamer, you don't have to engage a lot with the game mechanic. So you are free to talk. You don't have so much on your mind. You can read like a chat while something happens. So it's a good streamer game in a way that I don't think like a lot of games have thought of making an experience for streamers and stream pop and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Windsor.
Hey, Windsor. So yeah, I don't know. Feels like, yeah, that's it. That's a good combination, but again, I think Devolver Digital might have been the reason why it's now like a breakout hit. Because yeah, if it's Devolver Digital, kind of tells you that that's a quality game. And it's a shame. Maybe we should write them again. Maybe they got publishers. Yeah, but it's not the only time loop. So we had a resurgence in movies with time loops as well, like Palm Springs, of course.
Yeah,
which is very good. I don't know if we talked about that.
New favorite, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing. Palm Springs is an amazing, fresh take on the what's the English title? Every day the Groundhog Day formula. So waking up on the same day again. But there has been a horror, and I think that horror movie has existed before. It's called Happy Death Day. It's like an indie horror movie about a young girl who I think, well, she's got a birthday. I don't know if she turns 18 or 16 or whatever. I think maybe whatever. So it's a girl. She turns. It's her birthday, and there's a killer hunting her and killing her. And if she dies, she wakes up on the day again. And she tries to find out who the killer is, and she tries to escape. Which again, it's a cool idea. Like it's a Happy Death Day. It's got a second part now. It's Happy Death Day to You. It's part 2. And they have been like indie favorites in a horror movie genre. And then I found out there is an action movie who does basically exact same thing. Just it's not a horror movie. Now it's like a super fighter guy, like with big muscles. Yeah. I forgot how the name was. What was the name? But it just came out this year, so like this isn't really old. But also, it kind of sounds interesting. Like you have an action movie hero, and he's hunted by this huge organization that he can't quite escape, and I think he also like Palm Spring starts at a point where like the main character already knows what's going on. and is like really cool about it, and can like escape. Like the trailer's really cool. Like he lies in bed, and then like someone attacks him, but he knows exactly what's happening. Like there comes a helicopter like shooting whole space up, but he just walks through the bullets because he knows like where they're shooting, where they aren't. It's really, really interesting. So I think time loop will be 2021's big trend.
Yeah. Well, I do enjoy a good time loop.
Do you?
I do.
In what aspect?
So I'm trying to figure out right now. What's so nice about it? I mean, I feel like that's probably like loops are probably the most dreams that I have. Like I redo a lot of stuff in dreams. Like I get a do-over of the same story, and it never goes the exact same way. And I feel like that comes from video games.
I got these too. Like, but I also have these dreams where I think I already lived through that exact thing, but I'm not really sure. It feels like déjà vu.
Yeah, it really does. Like, I've had dreams where I'm, being chased by someone and I'm running away, and eventually, like I used to have that with my old school building, running away and eventually just jumping out of a window and then doing that over and over. But also like kind of being aware that I'm doing it over and over. It's kind of weird, and I feel like that's a very computer game type thing. You die, you start again, you try to improve and stuff. And I mean, we made our very first game that we made was a time loop one.
Maybe it's the time to remarket it, put it out there again.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to figure out how to make that work, because I don't think that worked very well. It works well, on paper, if if you don't have a player fucking it all up. But yeah, it would be fun to talk about how to make that work, possibly. But I think what we did is we tied the time loops to a number of moves that you make. So you could do like 20 actions, and you had to figure out how to complete what you have to do within those 20 actions, and you would need to get information in one time loop to have that already ready and stuff like that to optimize your path, but also to figure out that there's a time loop, because it didn't really tell you that, and I feel like that's what made it also muddy, that you have no clue what's going on, and as you try to solve what is going on, you get frustrated with it.
I don't even think like that at the end of the time loop we really made it clear what's happening.
Yeah,
people were just thinking like, kind of crashed, now I have to start over again.
It was explained in the text that nobody read.
Yeah, well, of course not.
That was
reading text. What do you think the players are?
I think that was my first big disillusionment in our very young career at that time, showing that to our friends, and the first thing they're doing is clicking through all the dialogue without reading a single word, and it was like, wow.
But I think it's also a special case when you got the developer in your neck and you kind of done trying to waste their time. You want to see more of the game, so you're clicking through that. But of course, I mean, I personally would have taken extra time to read it.
Exactly.
Not to offend the precious game developer.
But yeah, I don't know. Have I ever played a game that has not loop, but I mean time shenanigans, I suppose, like Braid or Prince of Persia or something? Are there time loop games that I might know?
I don't really know. I know of none. I mean, isn't one of the Zelda games something like that? You only have a couple of days before the world ends or restarts, maybe? With the time...
Ocarina of Time?
Yeah.
I know that you can travel through different ages, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I've only played it half. But yeah, movies, I enjoyed it a lot. Edge of Tomorrow was great.
There's something like homely, something like safe.
Yes.
And comfortable.
Weirdly, yes. And that's also what I really liked about Russian Doll. That it kind of...
Russian Doll, yeah, right.
That it kind of undermined that safety of not being able to do much wrong. Because at some point their world on repeat started to rot.
Oh, wow. What a great series. That was really great.
I'm looking forward to the second season.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Oh, second season.
Yeah, I think it's been delayed, obviously, due to Corona, but I think it's coming.
Nice.
Well, I hope it's still coming. Better still be coming, because that was a really good one. I need to know what happens.
You should just release the first one again.
That movie, Source Code, I would argue that it's kind of a time loop. Sort of. I mean, he goes into the same situation over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, I do think I like the freedom of trying again, and like nothing really matters. I feel like I would do very well in such a limbo. I mean, I assume it would get old at some point if nothing's permanent at all.
But it's also really comfortable that everything is like there's some order that will always be reset. Minute is basically kind of a time loop.
I haven't played that.
That's kind of nice. It's weirdly puzzly, more puzzly than I expected, but not in a too big of a like. They're not complex puzzles. They're really simple. You just need like one thing, like different keys to different doors. Like this you can use with that, and then you can continue. But it kind of worked. But I don't know, I didn't like keep my interest to really complete the game. But I did appreciate it. It was fun. It was also a good game to play like with someone else, because you can like swap like every minute the other player gets to do what they want to.
Yeah.
It works pretty nice.
Oh, there was a movie called Déjà Vu. Have you seen that with Denzel Washington?
No.
It's kind of meh.
Good to know.
Which I feel like it's a Tony Scott movie, and I feel like that's my reaction to all Tony Scott movies. They
What did you do?
Meh.
What else?
Man on Fire.
Haven't seen.
True Romance is also.
Oh,
one
Man
of his.
on Fire. So a single man, just one man on fire.
Yeah. Also Denzel Washington.
I just remember that he puts a bomb up someone's ass. That's the only thing I remember.
There's not much worth remembering, and I hated the cinematography. So terrible. He also did, what was that? Also Denzel Washington one. Crimson Tide, I believe. The submarine one with Gene Hackman, where there's like a... Do we fire the nukes because we got half a message and then there's a mutiny, and... It was weird watching that movie because I know the soundtrack. Never had seen the movie, but I know the soundtrack because there was because Nightwish had covered it. So I knew that intimately. It's a Hans Zimmer score that is, of course, typical but nice, very very good. But weird is also that Tony Scott directed True Romance, which is like half of a screenplay that Quentin Tarantino wrote. The other half is Natural Born Killers.
Right.
I think it was a 900-page screenplay that they split into movies. And I think afterwards he then asked Tarantino to punch up the script for Crimson Tide. And it is really super weird watching that movie and having Denzel Washington, being like submarine general person, suddenly go on about the Silver Surfer and shit like that.
Ah, right, yeah.
So
You told me that before.
It's a bit awkward. Oh, but one time loop thing that I know you enjoy is Predestination.
I wasn't sure. I had that in my mind, but I wasn't sure if it really is a time loop. And then I thought, like, maybe just watch Predestination without thinking at all about it.
Just watch
Great
it.
movie.
Don't even read up on it. It's good. It's really good.
Definitely not read about it. That would make no sense at all to read something before.
That's a good movie to go in cold.
Yeah.
Has Ethan Hawke.
Great
It's
movie.
Good. Yeah. I guess Looper is more time travel than time loop.
Yeah. Also great movie though.
Very good movie, yes.
Yeah, but horrible stuff that happens there. So I think Predestination had a couple of really rough passages as well. So I guess trigger warning. Especially for Looper and time travel violence. Oh God. Yes. Oh, what a great idea for a horrible thing. Give me something else to think about, please.
Have you seen Primer?
Yeah, of course. That's also nice. Really slow paced.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what the story is.
I forgot too.
I think I never knew. Like watching that, I was sitting there, no idea what's going on.
Nice.
It's incredibly dense and none of it is very explained. It's one of those hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
Rather cool. Oh, Chrono Criminus. That was nice. Time crimes. It's also a bit more.
But is there one of the new movies? Maybe.
New movies.
Yeah, I just was wondering if we find it's Happy Death Day, right? If you find the action movie I was talking about before.
Okay. Is that an action movie about time loops?
Yeah.
So we have Looper, Predestination, Déjà, Doctor Strange, allegedly. See you yesterday, don't know that. Run Lola Run. Forgot all about it. Time Machine, Time Trap.
Right.
Time Cop.
Run Lola Run was also a loop, right?
I don't think it was a loop. Wasn't it more like a...
Didn't you have to run?
What if I do things differently? Like if I make a different choice and then it just, sort of like Mr. Nobody.
Ah, okay. Oh.
I don't know if but it's been forever since I've... Wait, let me see. If we can action movie... And relatively new, you say?
Yeah, 2021.
New! So we have Happy Death Day to You.
No. I don't know.
Why doesn't that show me more? Maybe without the new. Did we watch this? Naked?
No.
Oh, that's such a good movie. And it's Marlon Wayans, which immediately is for me like a keep moving type thing.
What else did he do?
Well, he's doing all those like parodies, that weren't funny since maybe the second Scary Movie.
Wasn't the third the one that was funny again?
I did enjoy the third, but I have a feeling that it's not a good movie.
You don't know.
It was a certain level of stupid that I really enjoy. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he does a lot of like there's this Netflix thing, Sextuplets, where he plays like 6 siblings, and I hate stuff like that. I'm just not interested. But Naked is a really sweet, really wholesome. I don't know, should I say anything about it? Well, it's about a guy about to get married, and he's stuck naked in an elevator in a time loop. And it's so good. It's a really good time, really fun and cute. I enjoyed it a lot.
Sounds interesting, yeah. Can I just see what the movie was? But maybe think I can find it. Because I saw it in some place. Such great entertainment that we're producing. We're just scrolling on our phones. But I got it. Wait. I got it. Boss level is the name.
Aha. Boss level.
Yes, boss level.
Boss. Baby. Aha. Yeah, is that Mel Gibson?
I think he's a bad guy, yeah. Alright, Mel Gibson. Sometimes forget about him. Yeah, but interesting, there aren't that many loop games. Couldn't that be like a great thing for like open world GTA style game? We can run like in every direction, but like 24 hours. Or maybe you have like a sleep counter, and then you can like possibly you can try and stay awake for longer, but eventually you will fall asleep and start again. And then you have to find out how to break the loop. There must be games like that. Can be the first one to think about this.
Maybe it's hard to make the repetition fun if it's not guided. Because then you really like trust. Although isn't like Nier Automata or something sort of like that? That you start the game over 7 times, but it's always different.
Okay, but you start the whole game again, right?
Yeah, but it's different every time, right? So it's sort of like that's the loop.
Yeah, okay. But then you can argue like that roguelikes are basically time loops and you start again.
Yes, kind of. Yeah, I mean, if you think, because I was thinking Edge of Tomorrow, that's probably the closest. That's really gamey in the way the story works. But at some point, they just skip all the beginning parts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what would be annoying in a game if you like had to play through that actually again and again. You wouldn't just see the cool parts that are new.
You would have to start like in the action, and then at first you would immediately die. But so your tutorial is basically the loop structure, and then you get like better and better, understand your equipment better and better, and what you can do, and then eventually you would like own the battlefield, and then can continue and see what's going on. But I don't know. Most games kind of loops then. Like you die and you start at the last checkpoint again. So it's basically a time loop, and you have to get better until you get it.
Yeah.
We played enough games that time loops become interesting for movies again. Because everyone's so familiar with that feeling of having to start over again.
Yeah, I mean that's that level of practice and figuring out timings and stuff.
Boy, isn't that also like the most depressing thing, that this is comfortable? Like just let things stay as they are. Wouldn't that be nice? How can this be comfortable if we aren't like in a world where things get progressively worse, or at least feel like they are?
Yes, it's that fear of change. As long as you know it, you know you're gonna be fine even if it's a shitty situation. Better than change. The uncertainty of tomorrow. I'm sure it would get annoying after some time if you got stuck with the same thing over and over.
Maybe also like the dream of not dying, like the fear of death is kind of like neutered with having the ability to start the day over again. And it makes it really nice in a Russian doll.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could pass time on your own terms.
How often I've dreamt about that. Just pause.
Yes.
Do everything you want and learn for the exam at some point. And then, I wonder if you would just if you're like a procrastinator, if you would just get stuck there and never continue.
I mean, that sounds kind of like the dream to me, like just not doing anything until I want to do something. Yeah.
We've got it so hard here in Germany.
It's terrible.
Can't just stop the time. I have to do things we don't especially like sometimes.
Yeah. I guess sometimes a direct do-over would be nice.
Yeah.
Ah, well. Anyway. Is this us?
I don't know, I think we should just start again.
Yeah, probably. What is even up? Time stopping would be one of
the ultimate superpowers. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of limbo now and then.
Just being able to pause the rat race.
Yeah.
I think it's a very German thing as well. I think like in Italy or Spain, they are much more relaxed about that. I think we are like these the clockwork people. Looking at the time.
Yes. Yeah, no, feels like this has reached a natural stopping point. Time to relax.
Indeed. Happy weekend to everyone. Enjoy your time as if you could stop it.
Yes.
I did program too much today. I can't type anymore without IntelliSense.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Always lovely to have you here.
Indeed. And I guess we might do this again sometime next week.
That's a good idea. Let's try next week.
Let's just do this episode all over again.
Yep.
Make it more interesting this time.
I mean, it's called Déjà Vu, so I think we can do it.
Alright, yes. Have a good weekend.
Love and peace.
Indeed. Bye.
Bye-bye.